from the Brighton Pittsburgh Post. There's probably the other ones too. Full-page ads for weeks and weeks. Did you lose money investing with Brighton securities broker Caroline Korn, who's fined, suspended, discharged, under investigation? So there's a lot of bad things that your advisor can do to you.
I had an advisor with a big company here that was churning my mutual funds all the time.
Well, thank you. Talking about that next year. In addition to stealing all your money, there's three other things that your broker can do that are bad. One is churning. Churning is when they're doing excessive buying and selling. So whether it's mutual funds, whether it's stocks, if you're with a big firm, their compliance department should have caught that.
They caught him, but eventually, I don't even think he went to jail for it.
Well, it's nothing you go to jail for.
Extra money.
You get, because it's not really a criminal offense.
Yeah, they just took his license away, I guess. But he was with a big firm.
Yeah, well, the big firm should have caught that. Big firms, they have software that is supposed to pop up when somebody is buying and selling mutual funds. And even individual stocks. Your broker calls you up and says, I think we should buy some Apple. Everybody's got an Apple phone, they've got Apple watches, Apple TVs, Apple cars are coming, so let's buy some Apple. So you buy some Apple at $135 a share, and now it's $115 a share. So you've lost $20 a share. Is there anything you can do about that? And probably not. So that's investing. Unless, when you first set up your account, they ask you your investment objective. And if you had said, well, I'm retired, I can't take any risk, I just want to invest in municipal bonds. So if he buys you stock, and you said all you wanted are municipal bonds, you have a case there for going back to the company and saying, I thought this was an Apple municipal bond because I told my guy all I wanted were municipal bonds. So you might have some recourse there. Also, another thing that your broker can do that's bad is you get your statement and you see you have Apple on it. And you call him up and say, we never talked about Apple. And he said, yeah, I meant to call you the other day, but I couldn't get a hold of you, and I thought we should buy some Apple, and you weren't around, so I went ahead and bought it for you. Well, brokers can't do that either. You would have some recourse there for, that's called discretion, and brokers cannot use
Discretionary account.
unless you have a discretionary account. And if it's a normal brokerage account, the odds of that happening are very, very small. So we have the issue of suitability, we have the issue of churning, we have the issue of discretion. One thing you can do if you're working with a broker is that they have what's called the broker check through FINRA, where you can go online and check and see your broker's background and see if there's anything in that.
Broker check?
Broker check. You just do a Google search, use broker check or FINRA broker check. Now that nice lady who was getting these full-page ads looking for her clients, I did her broker check. And if somebody had done this, you'd wonder why they would ever do business with her. Starting back in 1991, 11 counts of forgery, 12 counts of embezzlement, county jail, community service, restitution. So, and that's before she was even a broker.
You went to Brighton Securities and they didn't check her? Is this the one with Brighton?
Well, Brighton Securities did fire her eventually.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, she was, and I can't speak for Brighton Securities. They could be the best people in the world. Maybe they don't believe in doing broker checks.
That's terrible.
In 2004, on her report, defaulted on student loans. Defaulting on loans is not a criminal offense. But if you want a broker who can't afford to pay their loans. Digging a little deeper, 2009, notice of mortgage foreclosure. Same lady. Now getting your mortgage foreclosed on is not a criminal offense. But do you want a broker who, when she's calling you up, is thinking of your best interest or thinking of her next mortgage payment? 2012, exercise discretionary power without written authorization, fined $5,000, suspended from any capacity for 15 business days, and the worst part was she had to requalify by taking the brokerage exam again.
Terrible.
Well, it actually is, because that's a really hard exam. 2014, discharged from Brighton Securities for trading excessively. FINRA, which is a financial industry regulatory authority, is investigating for trading incompatible with firm standards. 12 clients had high commission charges. So again, you can see all this in somebody's background by just going to their broker check. Now, just because they have a clean record doesn't mean you're not going to be the first person they're scamming. But if somebody's got a record like this, oh, and she's with another firm today.
Really?
Wow.
Local?
Yeah.
It isn't Scottrade, is it?
No, it's Pinnacle Investments.
Good.
She's with Pinnacle Investments, and again, maybe the people at Pinnacle don't know that there's such a thing as broker check,
Boy, oh boy.
but it's out there.
I'm surprised someone hasn't notified them.
Well,
You know, I mean, like yourself.
I'm not going to call them up and say you hired a scam artist.
Really?
I mean, they should know this. How are we doing on time?
Well, you're okay.
Whatever.
Interesting.
We're
You're
back
very-
by 2 o'clock then.
You're very interesting. Keep going.
Okay. A couple popular scams that are not so much investment related, but just scams. This was also from the Brighton Pittsburgh Post. Call now and save up to 84% on your next prescription by buying drugs from Canada. Now, I don't know if this is like Canadian Social Security. When you're buying drugs from outside of the U.S., you're no longer protected by the FDA, and probably everybody in the room here is taking drugs for something, and drugs can be expensive. But when you just call up an 800 number and they have a doctor who gives you a prescription on the phone, and then they ship you your drugs, is it really that drug? Is it maybe that drug, but it's an outdated drug? Is it a knockoff drug that came from China? I mean, this could be perfectly legit, buying drugs from Canada. But I would be very careful about ending up, when you go to CVS or Wegmans, does it ever cross your mind this might be phony? No. But when you're buying from an 800 number out of the country, it's something I think you need to think about. Another scam, yes?
What about drugs on mail order? That's what I cringe about. Mail order drugs.
I get mine
Well,
from CVS.
more and more the insurance companies are working with mail order drugs from the U.S. And I don't think you need to cringe about that, because it's very commonplace that they don't want you going down to Walgreens. They'd rather ship it to you through the mail.
I'm still worried about it. It's my opinion, you know. I still go to Wegmans, go to the shop there and get my drugs anyway.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with that.
Another
just for
very
mail.
popular
I get mine from
scam these
CVS,
days
but I have
are
to because my company
lotteries.
makes me do it.
You get the phone call. The phone call goes like this.
It's coming.
Jerry, congratulations. You just won 4th place in the Spanish lottery. We've got this BMW with your name on it. Where do we ship it to? Great, that's the address we have for you. Now, all we need is $2,800 to cover the shipping cost.
I always say, send me the car and then I'll send you the money. Send me the car.
If you really win something, sweepstakes, lottery, lotto, whatever, if it's legitimate, you don't have to pay anything. There are no there are taxes, but they'll take the taxes out of your winning. There are no shipping costs. There are no filing fees. You win, you win. And here again, Democrat and Chronicle. City man charged with scamming senior citizens. $138,000 to claim their Megabucks winnings. One 94-year-old individual sent in 17 different payments for $128,000 to claim his winnings. His money ended up in Jamaica. I guess along with his winnings, because he never got to see his winnings. So if you ever get a call that you won something, but you've got to pay to win, you didn't win. Sorry, Jerry, there's no BMW coming.
You were on a car at thing, or